Texas, the Lone Star State. It's big, it's bold, and yeah, it's beautiful. I'm Michael Davies, and on this episode of Sights, Bites, and Frights, we're heading to New Braunfels, Texas. In the heart of the Texas Hill Country lies one of America's fastest growing cities. It was founded in 1845 by German settlers along the Comal River. This is New Braunfels, Texas. And if you've never heard of New Braunfels, Texas, well, now you have. It's about 50 miles south of Austin and 30 miles north of San Antonio. They have bars, they have restaurants, and it's haunted. There are a lot of great places to grab a drink in New Braunfels. Everything from fancy nightclubs to speakeasies to pubs, bars, restaurants, you name it. For me, when I'm looking to kick back, relax, do some people watching, I prefer something a little more old school, like the Phoenix Saloon. It is the OG. Established in 1871, this place has dozens of beers on tap, live music every night, and an all-round great vibe. All right, now this is
the 512 IPA. 512 Brewing. They're out of, I believe they're out of San Marcos, Austin area. The best IPA around, definitely.
Nice. All right,
yes.
let's give it a shot. Yeah. Oh, that is nice.
Yes,
it's hoppy but refreshing. This is like one of the most popular beers.
Definitely, our most sold IPA. During Prohibition, it shut down. Obviously, they turned it into a general store. Downstairs was a hidden speakeasy, and there's tunnels underneath this whole town that they would bring the liquor into the speakeasies, to all the little bars that were hidden. The tunnels are very small. Like, they say, I hear that they had kids, that they had children go through the tunnels to bring the liquor in. And it makes sense of how small the tunnels are. Definitely makes sense.
Have you been down in the tunnels?
Yeah.
The first rule of any horror film is do not go into the basement. But since this is a travel show, I'm sure it's fine. It's gonna be fine. This is some old-timey creepy shit. Low ceilings, poor lighting, and a freaking hole in the wall that apparently leads to another building.
They're so small.
Oh, you're not kidding. They gotta crawl through it.
Somebody like me would have to crawl through a tunnel. And that's how they said that they used to have kids go through the tunnels and distribute the beer throughout the
That's amazing.
little speakeasies.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude.
So some little like 8-year-old kid is crawling through there like pushing a
with liquor,
a case of beer or whatever.
Yes, definitely, yeah. It's awesome.
Nuts. Yeah, it's cool / terrifying. I feel like it's time to go back up to the bar and grab another beverage. What is it about this bar that really,
There's a lot of ghost stories. Okay, so I'm here every morning, every night. I've never experienced anything, but I'm a very see it to believe it type person. So supposedly, whatever ghost is in here, I get goosebumps when I talk about it. So that's how I know there's something.
Ah, yes, the old goosebump gauge. Clearly, that's how you can tell there's a ghost.
So, but anybody who has a story, like one of our cooks, who's at the dish pit washing dishes and something threw something at him at his back while he was washing dishes. Lights flickering, just random weirdness, but it's always a man who has a story about it.
Is there like maybe a disgruntled woman in here?
I think
who's trying to get back at all these dudes?
There could be. There very well could be.
In an old building like this, has got to be haunted.
Yeah.
Sure, right?
Yeah,
There's probably murders and deaths.
I have a whole bunch of literature about the place and the whole timelines of the place. And
do you have some broad strokes that you can go through timeline?
Give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are our timelines. This starts at 1871 right there. Goes all the way through. Oh yeah, Ghost at the Phoenix. This is the Ghost at the Phoenix.
Any things that stand out to you where you're like, oh, this is cool?
So, let's see. On April 25th, John Sipple kills himself on the second floor with a single gunshot to the right temple.
Then that's the ghost.
Exactly, yes. Wow. See, I should read more of this. 1922, an illicit brewery operates out of the basement. That's where they had all the liquor brought in from, it's awesome. From 1919 to 1922 is actually a Phoenix restaurant upstairs. February 26, 2010, Johnny Cash's birthday. The Phoenix Saloon, that's when they opened again. And it's been, ever since then, we've been open as Phoenix Saloon.
Nice, that's very cool.
Right on, yep.
Quick little history lesson. Good times. Yep. I love it. This is the Blackwell Pub. And I gotta tell you, for a pub, it has some of the best food you're ever gonna find. Brianna, we're at the Black Whale Pub in New Braunfels, Texas. And we're getting closer to 20 years now that the Black Whale Pub has been here. And it's more than just a pub. Obviously, it's a great food establishment. One of these is your favorite.
Yes, the beef on weck.
The beef on weck. So tell me about this sandwich. What's the deal?
So beef on weck is kind of like a French dip. So you have your roast beef that is soaked in au jus. It has grilled green peppers and onions on it with provolone, served with a side of au jus. And then your choice of fries, potato pancakes, or chips. I prefer our French fries. They are twice fried, crispy, and delicious.
Twice fried. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't good enough just to fry them once.
No, you have to do it twice, of course.
Right,
of
no,
course.
that makes sense. What do we have here? These look like little sliders,
yeah,
right?
So these are the Reuben sliders. So this is gonna be our seasoned corned beef with sauerkraut, grilled peppers and onions as well. We have provolone cheese and our house-made Russian dressing, and it's served with our house-made chips as well.
How many times are these fried? Just once?
Just once.
You throw them in and it's donezo.
Exactly.
All right.
And they're made daily too.
I'm gonna start with your favorite.
Okay.
Which is the sandwich.
Go right ahead.
Right here, let's see.
Hope you're ready for a nap afterwards.
I'm ready for it. Get a good dip into the juice. See that? Look at the juice. All right, here's the bite. Oh my God!
Oh, I forgot to say there's horseradish mayo on there too. So.
Okay. Oh, there is more going on. Like, you see that? The horseradish mayo is what makes it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
There's so much flavor in the au jus, like it's really powerful flavor, but then, you know, that horseradish kicks in and it just gives it a little bite. So, that was fun. That is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had.
Love it.
I absolutely. Tell me a little bit more about this sandwich.
So,
whose idea was it?
This was actually Charlotte Garnier, who is one of our other owners. And we wanted to do the Reuben sandwich, but we thought sliders would be a little bit easier for people to, like a group of people that came in and just wanted something to munch on, for each person to have their own little sandwich.
That was unexpected. Whoa!
I feel like our house-made Russian brings a little bit more oomph to it than just doing Thousand Island.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Now I have two favorite sandwiches. Oh, that Russian dressing is outstanding. Like, the sauerkraut hits you right away, but then the Russian dressing kind of finishes it off. A little spice. I'm gonna have another bite. Okay. That is the sandwich. How do you choose between the two?
I know, it's hard.
Like, do I like my firstborn or my secondborn? Come for lunch and then come for dinner.
Exactly.
Is that a Poke Pills?
Yes, sir. Alex Meisner Poke Pills from Faust Brewery.
Nice, that is delicious. What's the origin story behind that, you know?
Not too sure, but I do know that Vance Hinton, who owns the brewery, him and Alex Meisner are very good friends. If you do know Alex Meisner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we know Alex Meisner? He was in the last episode.
So they decided to brew a beer for him.
That's really good, refreshing beer. Smooth.
It's one of our top sellers, definitely.
I
If someone
see
wants
why.
to get outside of their box of Miller Lite or Ultra, that's the first one I give them.
It's a gateway beer?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Anytime you're in an old building like this, you have to ask the question.
This place is haunted, isn't it?
Yes. I believe so.
Let's face it, New Braunfels is a pretty old place. The building has been around for a while.
Yes, sir. I actually have a couple stories, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Personal experience.
this has happened to you?
Yes.
Ghost story?
Yes.
You want to go upstairs and tell me?
Yeah. It was downstairs, but we can go upstairs.
You want to go downstairs and tell me?
I can show you exactly where it was. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was about 10 years ago.
Coming up after the break.
Counting my drawer with my back to everything, and I heard the chair pull out as if someone was coming to sit down.
This is the scary chair. This is
Yes.
the scare chair.
Yes, the scare chair.
What's the deal? What happened?
Okay, so about 10 years ago, I would say, I was opening the bar and I was counting my drawer with my back to everything, and I heard the chair pull out as if someone was coming to sit down. And I turned around and this chair was right here, away from the bar, and I was the only person in the bar. This is before we had the kitchen as well.
Whoa.
Definitely the only person. At that time, I was a little scared, so I came back, pushed the chair back into place, went back over there to get the keys to go do something else, turned around, and a pen from our pen holder went up and hit the bell that we used to have next to our cash register.
What?
Dropped down, so then I grabbed my phone and went outside and waited patiently for the owner to come in.
Wow. Okay, so you kept the chair.
Yes.
How old is the building? Do you think?
The original plot that was here, with the original frame, was 1882.
And we know there's a lot of ghosts from that
Yes,
era.
yes. So the story that I do know, it's actually the ghost tours here in New Braunfels told me, is this was actually a residential house, and it was a family with 3 little kids. And a couple years into them living there, they started seeing the kids walking around and looked a little bit more disheveled than normal. So they finally went and checked on the well-being of the family, and the mother and father had passed away in their bed and had been gone for a little while from tuberculosis.
Wow.
So the story is that the husband and wife are still inside of here, mostly upstairs.
All right, and so that was probably.
He just wanted a beer.
He just wanted a beer.
To keep me company, because lonely opening in the
So
morning.
maybe, you got to look at it the other way. Don't be scared.
No, just
welcome,
yeah,
embrace
definitely. So my next time, if he does that, I'll just set a beer in front of him and see what
it.
happens.
Just see what happens. If you see the beer go down,
Then I'm worried. Okay.
yeah, then be terrified. All right, Brianna, this has been an absolute pleasure. I love the Black Whale Pub, and you will too.
When you think of the theater, one might conjure up images of Broadway or the West End. But here in New Braunfels, it's this place. This fiery community theater has been entertaining New Braunfelians for 5.5 decades.
Robin Williams, right?
Yes, Robin Williams.
That is a cool name.
If I had been a business person, it would have been fine, but as a theater person, it's very odd.
Right, because there's a very famous Robin Williams out there.
A little bit.
Yeah. But it's a great conversation starter,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like right now. Robin, we're at the Circle Arts Theater in New Braunfels, Texas. This is like one of the coolest community theaters I've ever been in. Let's talk about the history. When did the theater start?
The theater was started in 1968. There was a theater company, the Peninsula Players, that shut down, and then there wasn't anything else, and so Elizabeth Elliot was like, well, I'm going to start my own theater. And so she did.
So this is the 55th.
We are entering our 55th season.
That's really cool for a community theater to have stood the test of time and keep going. How is this theater supported? Is it all audience tickets, or is there...
Audience is a huge part of it. We, of course, apply for grants every year because audience is not enough. We always are seeking out donations, both from businesses and individuals, and so we have some incredible VIPs, our very important partners that contribute every year, and they are fantastic. We have our business boosters of local businesses that contribute every year, and they're the main reason that we are still kicking 55 years later. But yeah, we gotta have the audience, people.
Yeah. Do you want to do a shout out? Tell the camera, tell people, how they can donate or how to support the theater.
CircleArtsTheater.org, CircleArtsTheater.org.
I want to stand on the stage under the lights and talk about what's coming up.
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's go.
here we go. Whoa, nice. All right, after you.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I got to say, this is a really cool stage. I'm excited. I haven't been on stage probably since I was 12.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm 17 now, so
I
it's
know,
been about
right?
5 years.
Cool. Great, same.
Yeah, I love the heat from the lights. I mean, you just feel alive up
Oh
here.
yeah.
What is that?
It's an energetic experience, even when there's nobody out there.
This is the set of your new show. What's the new show?
This one is prepping for 4 old broads. So
Nice. Tell me a bit about the show.
imagine the Golden Girls meets Charlie's Angels in a nursing home.
Who's your target audience?
Older, yes.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
There's just something about an old theater that is unsettling. Boxes of used props, set decorations that have been laying dormant for years, and stacks of miscellaneous creepy things.
I gotta ask you this because it's in the title of the show. Sights, Bites, and Frights. This is an old theater in an even older building.
This thing could dig at least 150 years old.
I believe so. It used to be an old grain warehouse.
Right.
With a shooting range underneath. So.
Well, it is Texas, so there has to have been a shooting range in
somewhere,
here.
yeah.
Somewhere. Is there a ghost? Have you experienced a ghost? What's the ghost, Sting?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I've experienced ghostiness here.
Ghostiness. Okay. Where was that? Where did that happen?
Where?
So I can avoid it. That's
Sure,
why I
sure,
want to
sure,
know
sure.
where not to go and get scared.
Realistically, everything's happened backstage or in the wings that I've noticed.
Let's go take a look.
Let's go.
All right.
See? Look at all this creepy stuff. No wonder ghosts are all over the place.
It's scary back here. I'm not lying to you.
I know.
Wow. And you're here sometimes late at night. Do you not have like guns and weapons and stuff?
No, but I lock all the doors.
Okay, yeah, that's first step. Lock the door.
Yeah.
And hope they don't have blasters.
Oh yeah. The best time to paint is late at night because you need time for stuff to dry. So I was here by myself, painting the floor late at night, and
Well, there's your first mistake.
there's your first mistake. But I didn't learn my lesson, kept on doing it. I just see the ghost going across backstage. Not only did it like go by, but all of the curtains then moved as well. Well,
What is it about theaters and hauntings and ghosts? I don't know. They just go hand in hand, and it's so unusual, and it's maybe because like there's a temporariness to everything. You said though that after that particular incident there was like a renovation, and then
oh yeah. So I haven't seen anything in years. So in 2012 we remodeled everything, the house, the lobby, like everything in front of the stage got remodeled. 3 years later, we remodeled everything behind the stage, and I haven't seen any kind of ghost or weird thing like that since then. So I feel like we did so many renovations that the ghosts don't recognize the space. So
they don't know where they are.
They don't know where they are. So whatever these happy beings were, whatever they may be, they're not here anymore. Or if they are, they don't pop out. So
When you are in New Braunfels and you are in the mood for something other than a movie or a cocktail, you have to catch a show at the Circle Arts Theater. Coming up after the break.
So this is a smoke gun called a Homia that you can get on Amazon.
And what are you putting? What is that? Literally tobacco?
All this ghostly business has got me thirsty. I could use a drink to unwind, and I know the perfect place. It's called Sidecar, and it's in the basement of the Prince Salms Inn, which is one of the oldest continuously run hotels in Texas. Stepping into Sidecar is like stepping into another era. Dim lighting, plush seating, and the smooth sounds of live jazz music create an air of mystery and intrigue. But Sidecar isn't just about the cocktails. It's about the experience. It's a place for friends to gather, unwind, and rediscover the joy of conversation in a bygone setting. Whether you're a seasoned cocktail connoisseur or simply seeking a unique night out, Sidecar at the Prince Salms Inn offers an escape from the ordinary. This is a bartender. What's a bit of the history of this place, the Sidecar, or the building?
So the building itself turned into Sidecar down here in the basement 4.5 years ago when Terry and Selena Muckenfuss bought it, outfitted next door the burger joint, and then they kind of in the last year after the pandemic did all full remodel up down here, upstairs, and then on the second story where we have hotel rooms now. So it's just kind of become a complex. You got your food, you got your drinks, we got a new bar upstairs, and it's just been growing ever since. Before this, it was a piano bar. Before that, it was Wolfgang's. So it's just kind of gone through its progression until we took over as Sidecar, and we've kind of taken it, run with it, and we've been seeing increased sales every year, and we've been making it work.
Wow, this is cool. It's like
Yeah.
this is old timey, man. This is old school down here.
It is.
Like, it really captures that vibe.
It does.
And now upstairs, the Prince Psalms Inn, that's the oldest active inn in all of Texas.
Correct. Yes,
That's an institution.
it is.
You're not just pouring beers and making rum and coke, man. You're a mixologist, right?
Correct. Yes.
I've been told that your smoked old fashioned is out of this world.
Some like to think so, yes, and I'm one of the people that do think so.
In order for me to formulate an opinion, I'm gonna need to try one.
And I can make that happen. This is Angostura bitters, one of the longest standing bitters that we've used in our old fashions, and that's been used in old fashioned from the year past. And right here is our homemade simple syrup that we make here in house. Some companies like to use sugar cubes, some companies like to use store-bought simple syrup, but we kind of like to make everything in house and make sure we're doing it the right way, making sure the measurements are there. And one thing we've come to learn is that with the simple syrup, you don't get that chalkiness that you're gonna get from a sugar cube. You're not gonna get the graininess, and it's not gonna be overpowered because it's carefully measured in how much we put in there. So you can't really go wrong with simple syrup. We juice everything in house. We make all of our own syrups, whether it be blueberry syrup, blackberry syrup, strawberry syrup, raspberry syrup. We boil it down, send all of our syrups through a spinzall, which spins at 5,400 RPMs and separates what we would call the chalkiness from the actual fruit itself. And then from there, we put it through a refractometer, which measures the sugar content that's already inside of the actual juice that we've just pretty much squeezed. And then we do a simple equation, add sugar as necessary to kind of get it to that equilibrium that we're looking for, bottle it, and then we have all our own homemade syrups.
Do you freeze your own ice?
Unfortunately, we don't. We've tried before in the past, but the process of getting all the air bubbles out and getting it to a clear stand is a little bit harder than we bargained for.
Really? So you gotta import the ice. You gotta.
Yep, so we buy the ice from a local distributor, Specs, and they import it from a company called Fat Ice, and then we pretty much take it from there.
It's gourmet ice, dude. What is this?
So this is a smoke gun called a Homia that you can get on Amazon,
And what are you putting? What is that? Literally tobacco?
and this is a cherry vanilla pipe tobacco that we get from a local vendor.
So you put actual smoke into your
We do.
smoked old fashioned.
Yeah, we find that if we use wood chips, flavored wood chips, that it doesn't provide as much of an authentic flavor profile to the actual old fashioned itself. And when people think old fashioned, they think of old timey cigar lounges, pre-prohibition, sitting in a basement, doing something you're not supposed to be doing, like drinking alcohol and smoking cigars. So if we do smoked chips, we don't feel like it's as authentic as throwing together a smoked actual pipe tobacco old fashioned.
So do you drink it with the smoke in it?
Totally up to you. Just don't inhale, otherwise you might start coughing.
All right. Bottoms up.
Cheers.
Holy moly. That was like smoking a cigar.
And that's what we call a whiskey hug.
Yes. That is outstanding. That is by far the best old fashioned I've ever had.
We get praise for our old fashions around here.
The experience,
Presentation.
absolutely, the presentation, the delivery, the way you put it together. Experiential things are few and far between these days, I find, and that absolutely nailed it.
So
It takes me back.
A plus.
A plus. Oof, that was out of this world. Coming up after the break. So an ice house, a place like this, it feels comfortable. It feels like home. It's Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Right.
They
do.
And that's here, right?
When
When you're in Texas, the Ice House is a staple. You're not going to get a whiskey. You're not going to get any vodka. You're going to get a beer. So let's grab one.
I love this place. It is so old school. Sometimes it's a packed house, and sometimes, like tonight, it's quiet and intimate. The perfect setting for an interview over a beer or two, or maybe 3. How long have you owned the place? How long have you been?
I've been in this bar here since November 15th, 89, so 32 years.
What is it about the Ice House, or what's the origin of ice houses in general?
Well, ice houses were started, and they were what convenience stores are now. They sold block ice, and they had a crusher they crushed up in a little store, and you bought things you needed. They had the old gas pumps in the pictures I see, the old glass ones for however that worked, where they pumped it up. It was just gas pumps. It wasn't like a service station where they changed your oil or anything like that. This bar started in the 30s. They built it and they've added onto it. And New Braunfels is a German town, or German heritage. This had one of the first TVs back in the 50s and stuff. And the old Germans would come in here to talk to each other. They'd speak German to each other.
Just as a way to keep it alive.
Keep talking to each other. Out front here was Highway 81, which was here the way from Dallas to San Antonio.
So that was before 35
was
okay,
built.
Cool.
35 was built in the late 50s, early 60s. So this was the main highway in front of our building here, from all the way to Laredo, all the way up to Minnesota. I think that was 81.
Wow.
And like 35 is, I-35 is now.
Do you get a lot of people coming off, or is this regulars?
It's more regulars here in our area.
So an ice house, a place like this, it feels comfortable. It feels like home. It's Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Right.
They
do.
And that's here. Right?
But the bartenders, you walk in, you don't even say anything, and they pull out the beer you want because they already know what you're drinking.
Right.
And they, of course, and they don't say, "What are you drinking today?" They just pull out your brand and give it to you.
Boom, done.
Yeah. And we've had people meet at the jukebox, get married here.
Really? That's cool.
And they've gotten married in here. And of course, we've had a lot of birthday parties or wedding receptions out back where we have we have covered, and they can sit out back on the picnic tables and visit. And we used to play washers. Now that cornhole is more of the game now.
Everybody plays cornhole now.
Yeah.
That's everything. Now I noticed there's a lot of cool signs and stuff around. Is this part of your is this a collection or a hobby, or what's
a little of both? It's from the beer companies over the years, and then bought a few at auctions.
Was it always called the Old Ice House? Because I feel like in the 1930s it would have been called the New Ice House, right?
No, I don't know what it was called then. I always forgot to ask the man I bought it from.
Jack, I'm glad that you have this place, and I'm glad that this is an integral part of Texas culture, and I think it's so important to our community. I want to thank you for keeping this alive.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having us here.
Thank y'all for coming in tonight. I hope y'all have a good time here in New
We will.
Braunfels.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud. Prost. There is just something about kicking back with a couple of beers and shooting the breeze. Having a good old chin wag. Maybe watch the game and soak in the local vibes. The Ice House in New Braunfels, Texas is a great place for a chill night out. It's also a great place to stop in to grab a beer before hitting the town. I'm Michael Davies. Thanks for watching Sights, Bites, and Frights. We'll see you on the next episode.